The Chinese New Year was just around the corner, and the streets of Beijing were bustling with excitement. Red lanterns and gold decorations adorned every corner, and the aroma of delicious food filled the air. Jing, a young woman working as a successful businesswoman, was looking forward to spending the holiday with her family. She had been working hard all year and couldn't wait to relax and celebrate with her loved ones. But little did she know, her plans were about to take a dramatic turn. As she was finishing up at the office, her phone rang. It was her childhood friend, Wei, who she had not spoken to in years. He was in town for the holiday and wanted to meet up. Jing was surprised but agreed to meet him for dinner. As they caught up over a traditional Chinese feast, Jing realized that her feelings for Wei had never truly gone away. They had a deep connection and she couldn't deny the spark that still existed between them. But there was a problem. Jing was already in a relationship with her longtime boyfriend, Lu. They had been together for several years and had even talked about getting engaged. Jing felt guilty for her feelings towards Wei, but couldn't shake the thought of what could be if she were with him instead. As the holiday progressed, Jing found herself torn between her love for Lu and her growing feelings for Wei. She couldn't decide who she wanted to be with and felt like she was betraying both of them. Just as she was about to make a decision, a sudden twist occurred. Lu, who had been away on a business trip, returned to Beijing early and proposed to Jing. She was taken aback but knew in her heart that she couldn't say yes. Jing went to Wei and confessed her feelings for him, only to discover that Wei had been keeping a secret of his own. He was already engaged to a woman from his hometown and had only reached out to Jing to tell her that he would always love her, but he couldn't be with her. Jing was devastated. She had lost both men she loved, and the Chinese New Year, which was supposed to be a time of joy and new beginnings, had turned into a nightmare. As the holiday came to an end, Jing was left alone, her heart heavy with sadness and regret. She didn't know what the future held for her, but she knew one thing for sure, her love story was far from over. The Chinese New Year fireworks lit up the sky, signaling the end of the celebrations and the start of a new year. But for Jing, it was just the beginning of a long and complicated journey to find true love. Jing, feeling lost and alone, decided to take some time for herself. She traveled to a small village in the countryside, where she could escape the hustle and bustle of the city and clear her mind. As she was wandering through the village, she stumbled upon a beautiful temple. Intrigued, she decided to go inside. As she was walking around, she noticed a man sitting in the corner, deep in meditation. He was calm and peaceful, and something about him caught Jing's attention. She introduced herself and they started talking. He told her his name was Ming and he was a monk who had left the city to seek a simpler life. Jing was struck by Ming's wisdom and kindness, and they quickly became friends. As the days passed, Jing found herself growing closer to Ming. He helped her see things from a different perspective, and she realized that the love she had been searching for wasn't about finding the perfect person, but about learning to love herself. Just as Jing was starting to heal and move on, Lu and Wei came to the village looking for her. Lu had realized that he couldn't live without her and begged for her forgiveness. Wei, meanwhile, had ended his engagement and was determined to win back Jing's love. Jing was torn once again. She still loved both Lu and Wei, but she also had feelings for Ming. She didn't know what to do and felt like she was stuck in an impossible situation. As the Chinese New Year approached, Jing made a decision. She decided to follow her heart and choose the person who made her the happiest, regardless of what society might say. With the New Year celebrations in full swing, Jing gathered Lu, Wei, and Ming together and announced her decision. But just as she was about to reveal her choice, a new plot twist occurred. Ming revealed that he was actually a successful businessman who had been living a double life as a monk. He had left the city to find inner peace and had never planned to return. Jing was shocked and heartbroken. Ming apologized and explained that he had fallen in love with her but couldn't stay in the village. He said that he would always cherish their time together and hoped that they would meet again in the future. Jing was left standing there, with Lu and Wei, both of whom she loved, looking at her with hope in their eyes. She didn't know what to do or who to choose. The Chinese New Year fireworks exploded in the sky, signaling the end of the celebrations and the start of a new year. But for Jing, it was just the beginning of a new and uncertain chapter in her life. The story ends with Jing's future unclear, leaving the readers wondering if Jing will choose Lu Wei or will she wait for Ming, and if they will ever meet again. The cliffhanger leaves the reader questioning what will happen next in Jing's love story. As the night went on, Jing retreated to her room and sat by the window, staring out at the rain. She felt overwhelmed by everything that had happened and didn't know what to do. She thought about Lu Wei and Ming and all the different paths her life could take. She thought about Lu, who had been her steady rock for so many years and had always been there for her. She thought about Wei, who she had always had a connection with and who had come back into her life at the perfect time. And she thought about Ming, the monk who had helped her see the world in a new light and had made her realize the importance of loving herself. As she sat there, looking out at the rain, she knew that no matter who she chose, it would be a difficult decision. But she also knew that she couldn't keep running away from her feelings. It was time for her to make a choice and follow her heart. She closed her eyes and took a deep breath, knowing that whatever the future held, she would face it head-on, with courage and determination. She opened her eyes and looked out the window one last time, and then she knew what she had to do. She got up and walked out of her room, ready to take the next step in her complicated love story. She opens the door to get in her car. Jing was surprised to see Ming and Lu both standing at her door with roses in their hands. She couldn't believe that they had both come to see her. She looked from one to the other, unsure of what to say or do. Ming stepped forward and said, "Jing, I know that I have to leave, but I want you to know that I will always love you. I will wait for you if that's what you want." Lu also stepped forward, "Jing, I know that I have made mistakes and I am sorry. But I love you and I will always be here for you. Please give me another chance." Jing looked at both of them, her heart racing. She had never felt so torn before. They both meant so much to her and she didn't know how to choose. As she was thinking, Wei knocked on the door. He said, "Jing, I know that I have hurt you and I am sorry. But I love you and I will always be here for you. Please give me another chance." Jing was at a loss. She couldn't choose. She couldn't hurt any of them. She knew that she loved all of them, but she couldn't decide who to be with. Jing decided to take some time for herself. She told them that she needed to think and that she would let them know her decision. She took a long walk in the countryside, trying to clear her mind and sort through her feelings. As she walked, she realized that love wasn't about choosing the perfect person, but about being true to herself. She knew that she couldn't make a decision based on societal pressure or what she thought was expected of her. She had to follow her heart and do what was right for her. Jing took a long walk in the countryside, trying to clear her mind and sort through her feelings. As she walked, she realized that love wasn't about choosing the perfect person, but about being true to herself. She knew that she couldn't make a decision based on societal pressure or what she thought was expected of her. She had to follow her heart and do what was right for her. As she walked, she kept thinking about Ming, the monk who had helped her see the world in a new light and had made her realize the importance of loving herself. She realized that he had truly changed her life, and she couldn't imagine her future without him. Jing knew that she had to tell Ming how she felt, so she made her way back to the village. When she arrived, she found Ming sitting in the temple, deep in meditation. She walked up to him and sat down beside him. "Ming," she said softly, "I need to talk to you." Ming opened his eyes and looked at her. "I know that you have to leave and I understand that," Jing continued. "But I want you to know that I have made a decision. I choose you. I love you, Ming, and I want to be with you." Ming was surprised but also happy. He took Jing's hand and looked into her eyes. "Jing, I love." Jing and Ming had been inseparable ever since she had chosen him among other suitors. They had shared many adventures together, and their love for each other had only grown stronger. As the days went by, Jing couldn't help but think that something was different with Ming. He seemed distant, and he wasn't as affectionate as he used to be. She tried to ignore it, hoping that everything was fine, but she couldn't shake the feeling that something was wrong. One evening, as they sat by the fire, Ming finally opened up to her. "Jing, there's something I need to tell you," he said, his voice heavy with emotion. Jing's heart skipped a beat. She knew that this was it, the moment she had been dreading. "I can't be with you," Ming said, his eyes full of pain. "I have been called back to my temple, and I must return to my duties as a monk." Jing felt like her world was falling apart. She couldn't believe what she was hearing. "But why? Why now?" she asked, her voice shaking. "I have been struggling with my feelings for you, Jing," Ming replied. "I never thought that I would fall in love with someone like you, but I have. And it has been tearing me apart. I have been torn between my duty as a monk and my love for you." Jing could see the pain and turmoil in Ming's eyes, and she knew that he was telling the truth. She felt her own tears start to fall as she realized that their time together had come to an end. "I understand," she said, her voice barely above a whisper. "I love you, Ming, and I will always be here for you, but I know that you have to go." Ming pulled her close and held her tightly. They sat there for a long time, holding each other and saying their goodbyes. The next day, Ming packed his things and left the village. Jing watched him go, her heart breaking. She knew that she would never forget him, and that their love story would always be a special part of her life. But she also knew that she had to move on, and that there was still so much for her to discover in this world. She took a deep breath and looked up at the sky, knowing that a new chapter was about to begin.